All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video here. This one's going to be about LeBron James. Said I was going to do a video about the 2010 season. Probably the last one I'm going to do about LeBron versus Jordan or anything like that. I want to get back to the player comparisons of the all-time greats. This is not just about two players. But that seems to be the ones people want to see. In 2010, Cleveland Cavaliers were 61-21. They had the best record in the NBA. Not quite as good as the 66-16 from 2009, but still a very good team. They played the Bulls in the first round. Cleveland was the 1 seed. Chicago, I believe, was the 4. They beat them 4-1, little to no problems. Then they played Boston in the second round. Boston was 50-32. They didn't really have any major injuries. Kevin Garnett missed, I think, 13 games, but that's really it. And so you look at the Cavaliers in 2010. LeBron was averaging 29.7 the regular season. Anton Jamison 15.8. Mo Williams 15.8 and Shaq 12. Those are the top 4 scorers for Cleveland. Pretty good. So, a lot of LeBron supporters are always going to blame it on the teammates. Never LeBron's fault. Well, I got evidence here that says it's exactly whose fault it was for 2010. But in the playoffs in 2010, in the 2 series, the Bulls and the Celtics, LeBron went from 29.7 to 29.1, so he was 0.6 of a point less. Anton Jamison went from 15.8 to 15.3, half a point less. Mo Williams went from 15.8 to 14.4, 1.4 points, marginal difference. Shaq went from 12 to 11.5. So all their 4 major players, all 4, their best scorers, averaged less points in the playoffs than they did in the regular season. Now, part of that was because Boston was a very good defensive team, but it wasn't a huge difference. You're talking a marginal difference here. They I don't think they had any All-Stars other than LeBron, but Anderson Varejao was second team All-Defense in 2010. He was a very good player. He was more or less their, I guess their starting power forward. I don't know. They kind of did a 6-man rotation. Delonte West, Mo Williams, Anton Jamison, Shaq, LeBron, and Anderson Varejao. It was kind of the 6-man rotation there. Ilgauskas was on the team, but I think he was dealing with some injuries. He wasn't as much of a factor. Plus, he kind of took a backseat to Shaq. Well, in this Eastern Conference semifinal against Boston, Cleveland took a 2-1 lead. They're up 2-1. Now, again, when you want to compare Jordan versus LeBron, when Jordan was up in a series, any series, with the exception of the 89 Eastern Conference Finals when they were up 2-1, aside from that one series, whenever the Bulls got a lead on a Michael Jordan team, they won the series. That's a fact. So anyway, in games 4, 5, and 6, they lost 3 in a row to end the season. I mean, that's, to me, is a black mark in itself. To have the best record in the NBA and lose 3 games in a row. That shouldn't happen. It's almost impossible that it did happen. In Game 4, LeBron James was 7 for 18, 0 for 5 from 3, with 7 turnovers. In Game 5, 3 for 14, 0 for 4 from 3, 3 turnovers. In Game 6, 8 for 21, 2 for 4 on threes, 9 turnovers. So in the last 3 games of the series, LeBron goes 18 for 53 for 33.9% from the field. He goes 2 for 13 from 3, which I think we're all going to agree, that's not very good. I think it was like 18% or something. And 19 turnovers. That's 6.3 turnovers per game in the last 3 games of that series. So if you're not putting it on LeBron, who are you putting it on? He shot horrible. He turned the ball over. He definitely was not hitting his threes. And the thing is it was kind of a winnable series for him. Paul Pierce for the series shot 34.5%. He didn't play well. Ray Allen was 42.5%. Not great. So what happened? In the whole series, LeBron James, 4.5 turnovers per game. Well, for whatever reason, LeBron James just kind of quit. His head wasn't in it. Whatever it was, they lost. But obviously, they're up 2-1 and still had home court advantage, even after they lost Game 4. Games 5 and 7 were going to be in Cleveland. They fell apart. Well, I tried to find a similar scenario with Michael Jordan. The best I could come up with was the 1991 Eastern Conference semifinals against the 76ers. Bulls are up 2-1, but they closed it out in 5. And in that game 3 that the Sixers won, Hersey Hawkins scored 29 points. I think Jordan maybe took it personal because Hersey Hawkins got 15 points in Game 4 and 15 points in Game 5. He was not going to be the factor that beat him. Michael Jordan in Game 4 shot 11 for 27. Not great, 40-some%. 25 points, but he had 12 assists, 4 rebounds. So 12 assists right there tells you his shot wasn't falling the way he'd like, so he went into point guard mode. And he was feeding his teammates, and they won that game. Game 5, that was in Chicago, the closeout game. Jordan scores 38 points, 10 for 11 free throws, 19 rebounds, and 7 assists. That's the mark of a guy that didn't quit on his team. In those 2 games combined, he scored 63 points. He had 23 rebounds and 19 assists. So he's averaging 31.5 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 9.75 assists. This is a guy that was balling out. He was also 11 for 13 from the free throw line. And held Hersey Hawkins to 15 points in each game in 4 and 5. So there is no comparison here. And you can say whatever you want about, Jordan had Pippen and Horace Grant and they had the exact same record, 61 and 21. Period. What else can you say? That's another choke job that just does not get talked about enough. 2010, Cleveland Cavaliers had the best record in the NBA. This is the separator from Jordan and LeBron. Every time Jordan won 60 games, he won the championship, 5-0. LeBron won 60 games in 09 and 10, won 3 total playoff series. That's it. And did not win a championship, obviously. That's the separator in my mind. When Jordan had the squad to do it, when he had a team, he wasn't going to lose. When he was a one-man team, teams would build a defense around him, or they would just shut down his teammates. They were finished. So, again, to me, this is the separator right here. He had enough. He had Anton Jameson and Mo Williams were getting him, 15 points a game each, something like that. Shaq still was giving him like 12. Between Varejao, Jameson, Shaq, Ilgauskas, they had decent interior help. Kevin Garnett didn't destroy him. I think he averaged like 18 points a game. Good series. But he didn't go crazy. Kendrick Perkins, 10 points or something. So, this is on LeBron. This is strictly on LeBron in 2010. So, again, that's probably going to be it for this video. But when you look at 2009 through 2011, what the record that LeBron James's team had and how they just melted down. In 09, Game 1, 16-point lead at halftime, lost. Lost that game and then lost in 6. They were 39-2 at home. That was a meltdown for sure. Then in 2010, being up 2-1 on Boston, there's no reason to lose that series. They never won another game. Lost 3 straight, just out. And even if LeBron was dealing with personal issues, well, that goes to his mental toughness. Again. So, I got all the evidence in the world, all the research in the world. There's nothing that tells me LeBron James on any level was as good a player as Michael Jordan. There's just nothing you're going to bring to the table to start your argument with. You start with whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Michael Jordan in every facet had a greater career, was a greater player, and the comparisons should just stop. I know they're not going to. People are still going to keep feeding these narratives. I think a lot of this stuff is hot takes, but anyway, I'm here to debunk them all. That's it. Probably more videos tomorrow. Thanks.